Questions?
Thanks, Demo. Somebody's getting a call. Really proud of those guys, the way they played, the way they fought. Told them in the locker room the reason that we practice the way we practice. One of the big things that came up that ended up winning the game for us was sudden change football. So anybody that comes out to one of our practices, we practice sudden change in an inordinate amount of time. The ball was at the 1 yard line. The defense never panicked, got a goal line stand to win the game. 2 minute, 4 minute at the end, having the presence of mind to know exactly what we needed to do. It was right on that mark to take the knee with delay. Lucas did an unbelievable job understanding the situation and sealing the win for us. The reason we do our above the line depth chart, the reason guys practice so much, because what happened to us today, defensively, so many guys played. It was a hot day out there today, but we were able to stay fresh because we were rolling guys in the entire day. We lost 2 offensive linemen early in the game, and other guys, just because they practiced the same amount of reps as everybody in the organization, were ready to come in. William Lay, I think, played 90% of the game at center and, did a really good job walk on in this program, but we could care less. When they're out there on the field, when they're out there at practice, everybody gets reps in this organization. Everybody's a valuable member, and if you earn the right through your practice habits to play and play at a high level, you're going to get in there. Special teams, Presley Hart, I can't say enough about him. When we needed to boom the ball and we needed to flip the field, he did it. We need to pin them deep, he did it. So really proud of Presley, our punt protection team. We kept changing up the looks, keeping them off balance, and our guys were able to handle that. Proud of Coach Thacker and the defensive unit, how hard they played, holding a really good offense under, 262. 9 tackles for loss, which helps to that. JP had over 100 yards, and he ended up with 99. So just proud of them and proud of the offensive line. All 3 quarterbacks played, and we kept changing the tempo, changing the pace, changing the things that we were doing offensively to try to keep them off balance as much as we could. And but just character win, a team that plays together and just battles all the way to the end, doesn't worry about the situation, just puts the ball down and plays together and plays at a high level. So just really, really proud of that group that's in that locker room right now.
Okay, questions for Coach Collins, please raise your hand and get a microphone.
Defensively, the defense did a great job of getting off the field on 3rd down, and
Yep.
that's always a big key to a game.
Yep. Yeah, that's a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we, and again, I forgot to mention that situationally. We put all of those situations, the money down, the emphasis. I thought our sidelines were amazing. The juice crew getting everything hyped up. The student managers who do an absolutely amazing job for us every single day in practice. When you guys come out there, whenever 3rd down hits, they're jumping up and down, holding up the signs, just like they did today in Bobby Dodd Stadium. But understand the situation and getting off the field. 2 of them, 2 of the 3rd down conversions were quarterback scrambles. So we had them pinned deep, pop for 2. So 2 of the 4 that they actually converted were on quarterback scrambles. So just integrity of pass rush lanes. I thought Charlie Thomas, one of the key 3rd downs in the game. The athletic quarterback, that really good feet. He scrambled around, and Charlie Thomas used unbelievable leverage to prevent him from getting the 1st down, made it 4th and 4. So just we're a leverage-based defense, we're an effort-based culture, and those things showed up in those situations.
Coach, it seemed like you guys kind of held together when you were weathering the storm, and it seemed like both sides of the ball didn't panic when you lost momentum.
Sure.
Late in the game. And is that sort of speak to the culture you're trying to build and what you're trying to do? Because it seemed like an opportunity, especially when they have 1st and goal and a chance to go up.
Yep.
That's when a lot of teams kind of fold.
There's no doubt. I think what Lou Caralla and our strength staff put our guys through in the offseason, the wild situations that we put our guys in, the chaotic environments that we put our guys in, and they just have to focus, stay in the moment. What is the task that is placed right in front of us right now? They're just so ingrained in this is how we do things. So when things are going nuts, they can still focus, lock in, get the call, communicate with their teammates, and go play football. And just really proud of the whole staff for that.
Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
And looked like on defense, guys played well, a little poise, a lot of grabbing going on. You didn't get a lot of calls, but you got some pressure up front. And so I know that was a good deal to get on the pressure. And also on the offensive side, you had Oliver. He came out and played well. Looked like he played with a purpose.
Sure.
Maybe he wasn't too happy with his play last week, but how do you assess both the defensive line and also Oliver's play today?
Sure, and that's where it starts up front for us. The work that they've put in both sides of the ball, the transition that Brent Key and our offensive line have gone through is monumental. And just every day, every single day of practice, every single game rep, they get incrementally better. So really proud of them. And then D-line up front did a nice job stopping the run and then containing the quarterback and getting pressure on the quarterback without us having to blitz a ton. So we've got two Olivers, Tobias or Caleb. Yeah, I love both of them. So Tobias, I mean, he's a competitor. Once he gets the ball in his hands, he's going to will something to happen. And, he did that. And I think everybody that touched the ball today, J.P. Mason ran really, really hard. And so just proud of the total effort.
Coach, you've been kind of messing around with a couple different quarterbacks so far, but Johnson saw the majority of the pass attempts on the field.
Sure.
Do you plan with using him that kind of role moving forward? As he's your passer guy, or is just going to be the QB moving forward, or are you still going to be rolling with above the line and just trying to get him all reps?
I thought Lucas had a really good week of practice, and he was throwing the ball really good, had great command of the offense all throughout the week. Those kind of things in this program are rewarded. All we worry about in this program, regardless of position, how you practice determines how much you play. What you do well throughout the week of practice determines how much you play and what situations you're going to be in there. Lucas had a really good week of practice. James did some things. We had some specialized things with him and T.O. on the field at the same time. But every single player that earns their right to play in this organization does it Sunday through Friday through practice. And every position is the same way. I know I get asked about the quarterback position more than the rest, but every position in this organization has value, every position has meaning, and every position is held to the same standard that how you practice determines how much you play and your level of contribution to the team. And there's no position that's on the field that is, relative to that.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
What exactly did you tell your guys throughout the course of this week after the Clemson game to prepare them? Because in a lot of cases, as you know, sometimes that can be like a confidence killer. So what exactly did you say to them to kind of get them prepared for this particular game?
Well, it's really what we've said for 9 months. It's every single play has a life of its own. We can't worry about anything else than what's right in front of us. The things that we learned from last week, we're a culture built on effort. I thought we played really hard last week. We played really hard today. Competition is king. We competed last week. We competed our butts off today. Family over everything. We stayed together last week. We stayed together this week. The things that we learned last week and we made a huge emphasis on is doing your job and playing clean football and execute your fundamentals on every single play, regardless of the situation, regardless of what's going on externally. Just stay in the moment and play at a high level, and they did that.
Two things. One, Brent King got the nod kicking today. Was that a performance thing? And then the other one is, I guess a practice performance.
Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, you answered the question for yourself, buddy.
And then the other thing is in terms of I guess the punt coverage. You saw Nate had a nice down punt.
Absolutely.
And then it seemed like the punt coverage has been one of the real strengths of this team. And
right.
It seems like you're leaning on them to a little bit more in situations where maybe you could go for it on offense to play field position.
Right.
Does that say a lot about your defense as well?
Well, I think we've got a special punter in Presley. I mean, he is dynamic. What UCF or USF was doing, they bring a lot of pressure almost every single time. When you watch them on tape for a 2-year period, they're bringing pressure in multitude of looks. So we kept 8 men in the protection, and we trusted Nate Cottrell and Kenan Johnson, who earned the nod at the other gunner, that Presley's going to boom it. We're going to protect, and you too have to go make the play. And invariably throughout the day, they did that. Nate I think is an NFL special teams player. The way he plays, how fast he goes. You know, we wear the catapult system. When we played last week, his highest catapult number since we've been here for 9 months, I think was somewhere in the neighborhood of 22 miles an hour, which is real life fast. When we played against Clemson, he was like .04 away from his top speed. So he's preparing to play as fast as he can. Then when he gets on the field, he plays at that speed. And the challenge to everybody in the organization is whatever your max speed is, because what happens when they get in the game is there's situations, there's fans, there's I got to make a move on somebody. No, just play as hard as you can every single play. We'll roll guys in for you, and everybody can keep playing at a high level. Nathan did that, and I thought Kennan, true freshman at the other gunner, did that as well.
Coach, I hate to be a little redundant here, but that was one of the things I was going to talk about. Your punting today.
Yeah.
Clearly, you had a situation where Presley hit 4 punts inside the 20.
Right.
And then number two, did you anticipate that the ball would be so important here against USF, with you guys being able to turn them over a couple of times in this game?
Right. Yeah, I think that's the thing every single game. As far as we go through all the week, it's all about the ball. That's our Wednesday's entire emphasis is it's all about the ball. Offense possessing it, holding on to it, which we got to improve on that because we got put in some hairy situations. Defensively, we got to create turnovers and we got to capitalize on them when we get them. But we spend an inordinate amount of time on getting the ball, protecting the ball, and what we do in sudden change situations as well.
You
Tor?
talked about the above the line of velocity being a point of emphasis with the offensive lineman going down, but
Sure.
also can you speak to the training that Brent Key does in slotting guys in specific areas in order to get them prepared for situations like today?
Yeah, so the above the line philosophy that we have, the playing the players. So Brent Key, every position has a metric that we go through in our playing the players meeting. What happens if this person goes down, this person goes from this tackle to this position to this, from guard to tackle, whatever. He has a metric that he'll go through the entire game, and then Kenny went down early, and then Mikey went down early, and we just kept rolling guys in. Guys that had started off at tackle moved to guard, guys that started off at guard moved to center, and just kept rolling the guys through. But I think the development of the player, where every single offensive lineman can play every single position. When you get in situations like today, you have position flexibility, and they can go execute at a high level. We do that across the secondary. The front four does it on defense, so it pays off on days like today.
The play that USF hit after Dylan fumbled, it was big in two ways. One, it seemed like a breakdown, but also Tariq made the hustle play to stop him. I'm
Right.
curious what allowed that, but also can you comment on Tariq's play to stop
Yeah,
him?
so that was a we keep moving stress around. Coach Thacker does a great job moving stress around across the defense. On that play, our outside backer rush defensive end was placed in a situation that he had stress. It was a unique play that they hadn't run very much and was supposed to have it covered. Didn't. We had a coverage breakdown, but the play is not over until the whistle blows. Give ourselves a chance to play another down, and Tariq made a great play to get him down. Somebody's getting another call. To get the guy down so that we have a chance to put the ball down and play another play. And those are things that we stress, and you just see those things show up and over again today.
Hey, Coach, can you talk about how important discipline was today, extending so many drives on flags, and
Sure.
how we're going to keep that moving forward and not being the team to get those flags?
Yes, I mean, the thing that, and it got chippy out there, was proud of our guys for having composure. But last week, we're getting 2 penalties, first game of the season. Our director of operations, Scott Wallace, makes sure that every single practice throughout the spring, every single practice throughout preseason camp, we have referees at practice, and they're on us, so our guys understand the importance of playing clean football. Because as we develop this program, we have to be one that's built on discipline and being able to stay in the moment while other people might be cracking under the pressure. We're able to compartmentalize what is happening and just stay in the moment, make really good decisions. This is one of the top 10 academic schools in America, so we have incredibly smart young men in this program that are able to think at a high level, understand that they don't want to put our guys and our team in a bad situation because of a selfish action, and just really proud of that, and our coaches reinforcing that all the time.
Demetrius Knight made a couple of nice plays early in the
did.
game.
Yep.
What are you seeing from his progress?
Yeah, hey, I mean, he's going to be a really good player for us. Chico Bennett, I bet if we go back and look, I bet he's 40% of the snaps at defensive end. He's playing at a high level. Marion Brown out there playing at a high level. Kenan Johnson, I've already mentioned him. Kalani Norris. There's a bunch of young guys that are playing. Dylan Devaney, Dylan Leonard. Young guys getting the opportunity to play at a very high level, which is huge for us. So we, the guys with our above the line philosophy, if you come here and you work hard and you can understand the system, you're going to play and play early and play often. And I think that's just a testament of the kind of guys that we bring in here. But back to your point, Demetrius, one of the biggest things too is he's on our second punt team. So I bet probably 40% of our punt snaps, which are game-changing plays, one way or the other, and we trust him to be out there on punt team. I think that says as much about him as much as he plays and plays well on defense as well.
One or two more for Coach.
Offensive identity seems kind of up and down a little bit. You feel like you guys are still trying to figure out what you can do well on offense, or is it still going to be week to week, game to game plans? This is what we're going to do. Like today was a very different game plan for most of the game than, say, Clemson because of the defense you're facing.
So if you've watched us for the last couple of years, I think Dave Patnew's one of the most creative, innovative offensive minds there is. We inherited a roster that's built a certain way. We've inherited a roster that has, some of the individuals have certain strengths, and we have to play to their strengths. And a lot of them have very differing strengths, what they can do, so we've got to play to those strengths whenever we have certain packages in. So we had personnel packages and a play series within those personnel packages that we were focusing on. Now, we might not have done all three of that series in a row, but as we go and we hunt and peck throughout the game, that mindset and those personnel groupings have this identity and this flavor. Well, if you're a defensive play caller, you're having to put all of that information through your game planning and your game calling process, and it makes it very difficult for a play caller. So I love how unique we are. I love our players, their unique skill sets, and we will just continue to develop what they can do. But we're going to be a player-based offense. We are not a scheme-based program. Everything in this program is about our players, from the play calling to the plays that we run to the schemes that we devise. Every single thing in this program is developed for our players to have success. Not worried about the schemes as much as we're worried about our players having success within our system and within our program.
One more right back here.
Coach, what exactly did this win mean for you on a personal level?
I mean, it was cool. I mean, I don't want it to be about me. I mean, I love these guys. I love this great institution. I did get to give my wife a big hug and my daughter a big hug right after the game. That was special. But I told them in the locker room, my favorite thing, we got to win, and we're going to go practice tomorrow. We get to practice football tomorrow together, and I'm fired up about that. Got another day with these dudes. They're a special group. I'm lucky to coach them.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Thank